Hello, Millennium fans. Thank you for joining us. Caleb here and Taneal. Tonight we are going to be doing some miniature painting, and we are just going to be hanging out. A lot of you have asked for painting content, so we're not doing anything in particular tonight other than just kind of hanging out with you guys. We're going to be painting some Wizkids models. I've got the Tomb Tapper.
I have the Blue Dragon. It's the Pathfinder Blue Dragon.
So we are just going to be painting these Wizkids models. If you have questions, we do have the chat up, so feel free to post there, and we'll answer the questions as best we can. And yeah, just thanks for hanging out with us tonight, and let's get started.
Yeah.
So Taneal's going to be, Taneal did a great job setting up the stream, so she was kind of running around all behind the scenes, so hats off to Taneal for doing all that. And we're going to get going here. If someone could just confirm that the microphones are working, that would be awesome. Just make sure you can hear us all right.
Let me get all my junk out of the way. I didn't have time to set up my
the
wet palette and stuff, so we're gonna do it live. We're doing it live.
Hey, Mike, thanks so much. We appreciate you.
Hey, Mike West, what up, homie?
All right.
This is Donald's wet palette.
All right, so I'm gonna be starting this Tomb Tapper. I have not played D&D in a long time, and I don't remember what the Tomb Tapper is. So if anyone wants to give me a quick rundown on the lore of the Tomb Tapper, that'd be awesome.
Someone Google quick.
Yeah, Google quick. Or if anyone has faced off against one of these things in your campaign or possibly died to a character, let me know. But I'm basically just going to be painting this thing. Like, the box art was all just almost solid black, which looked kind of boring. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be probably throwing in some dark browns and some purples just to kind of give it a little bit of color depth. And Taneal's got the blue dragon. Is it a special blue dragon, or is it just a young blue dragon?
I think it's just a blue dragon. It's Pathfinder, so I don't really know anything about Pathfinders. I do play D&D. I also don't know what the Tomb Tapper is, but Pathfinder blue dragon. But she's so sassy,
Oh yeah, in case you're wondering whose view is, mine's the one with the glove, and then Taneal's the one with the painted nails.
Yes.
With
the feminine hands and the, not to say you don't have feminine hands. No, I didn't mean to offend you.
No, it's fine. It's fine. Apparently I have very nice nails, and I have no idea.
Well, you're wearing your. Oh, actually, you do. I can see on the other. Yeah. Do you keep them trimmed?
No. I mean, I trim them.
Do you
when
bite
they're too
them?
long. I bite them if I'm anxious. So it's most of the time. No, I don't chew my nails. I used to as a kid, but I broke that habit.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I just trim them when they get too long.
Oh, I see.
All right, so I'm going to be using, if anyone's wondering, I like Scale 75 as a brand. I know a couple weeks ago I was on with Doug and we were trying out the Proco line, which I do have a few of those colors, which I'll probably be mixing in tonight. You don't have a thumbtack in here, do you?
A thumbtack? I don't,
or
but...
a needle or something? Actually, I might have one in here.
Oh, I don't. I usually I have a Army Painter file. Oh, there it is. This is my pokey.
Okay.
This is my, professional pokey.
One of the things Scale 75 does is they seal all of their wax tips. So, all right, thank you.
Yes.
All right. So I've got I know the Wizkids are pre-primed, but I do like using a darker base. Usually I'll do like a Zenithal highlight, but I ran out of time, so we're just gonna do kind of like starting from a gray, almost black standpoint. And we're just gonna start layering up as we go. In the studio, we also have Donald here hiding in the background, but
he's shy.
He probably won't be on stream very much with us.
Yeah, maybe if we play Obsession. Yeah. And for paints that I brought today, I have a bag of paints that I had packed up for camping. Didn't get to go camping, but my paints were already packed up, ready to go.
Do you guys paint while you camp?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. You bring board games, you bring miniatures for painting. Of course.
See, that's my idea of camping.
Yeah. It's a good. That's a good idea.
Someone in my family who will remain nameless.
Yeah. I felt
possibly my wife.
I felt the.
She likes to hike, and I have I have an indoor personality.
Yes, well, Anna's way cooler than you anyway.
Anna is way cooler than I am.
Hi, Anna. She's
I
my soul sister.
I think she is watching.
Of course she's watching.
This is probably where she's rolling her eyes, and she's probably texting me right now saying, "How dare you say that online?"
I have a lot of different paints in here. This is a Mod Podge Scale 75, one of my faves. I haven't tried the Pro Acryl line, but soon. TM
soon.
Army Painter, which I love me some Army Painter. So papery and matte. I love it. I love the texture.
I am very excited to see what they do with their new line coming out.
Oh yeah, the
line.
War. Oh, Fanatic. Yeah, they look ridiculously pigmented and awesome.
Yeah. Part of me is a little like skeptical just because anytime there's things on YouTube, I'm like, how true is that? But I've seen a couple pro painters using them. Like they sent out a bunch of they sent out a bunch of like demo copies. And so far it's looking really legit. So Mike, we're going to be doing this. We don't really have a schedule yet. My goal personally is to be on stream at least once every 2 weeks, and that's going to be probably alternating between board game content, painting content. All just kind of depends on what the goal is. I know that next week I'm going to be painting, hopefully. We've been trying to schedule it for a while, but with Matt Ritz, who's another local painter who's very good in the area. We were going to do that this week, but he is traveling. And we are going to be doing kind of a special painting event where we're going to be doing a color challenge. That's all I'm going to say about that. So you have to tune in. The goal is, I believe it's going to be next Thursday. So keep an eye on our social media. We'll post there.
Yep.
But to answer your question, I'm going to be hopefully on stream at least once every other week, probably alternating between board game content and miniature painting.
And I will most likely be running those streams, so I'll be there in spirit, if not on cam.
Yeah, Taneal is the behind-the-scenes
stream queen. I prefer.
Ooh, I like that stream queen.
Did you see I added it to my email title?
You could.
Yeah, I know. I could add. Yeah.
I think you've added something. Yeah. If anyone wants to.
Email me.
Yeah,
you can see
Taneal at Millennium Games, and you will get an email title unlike anything you've ever experienced.
Yep. Well, Travis said I could pick my title, so I did.
Yeah.
He suggested it. So my official title with like social media is Social Media Empress, but it's this big long one that I often forget and don't want to embarrass myself. So.
Board game playthroughs. Sometimes. What I'm really hoping is as we build our platform here, now with the size of the store being what it is, I'm really hoping to start doing advanced content. Like I know that, so for those who don't know, the new D&D Onslaught game that came out last October, a year ago,
last year.
is designed by Nick Yu and Travis Severance, and Travis is one of the co-owners of Millennium. So hopefully the bigger we get, we'll start doing some like advanced content, like for games coming out soon. But yes, definitely playthroughs, how to plays, all of that. A lot of it just kind of depends on the schedule. There's how many events do we have going on every day? 4?
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Every day. So we're also going to start streaming like just content within the game room itself. So different Magic tournaments, all that kind of stuff. Do you need something?
No. Those for your wet palette.
Taneal, how do you pick a starting color?
It's hard. This is probably my favorite part of painting is priming. I'll be honest, because you just get to kind of meld into your thoughts a little bit, and this is where I am just like like picturing the character, I guess.
Yeah.
Right, and like role playing in my head what this character is, and then something will strike, some inspiration, and a masterpiece is born.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
Very cool. So guys, see Codename Wolf. How's it going today? The extra workload is actually pretty good. Like so if you have not been around Millennium, since we've moved, I think we've hired 7 new staff
We have
members.
a lot of
So there's a lot of new faces
New
around
faces.
that are. The team is doing a very, very good job integrating into this new store. So the new store, if you've not checked us out, has been more than double the size of the old store. So our step counts are going up for sure.
Oh my god.
But yeah, no, the workload's actually really good. Like they did a really good job in designing the new layout, and so we're getting used to it. But overall, we're really good. And yes, all the new mats. Yeah. So for those who aren't familiar, yes, over Halloween weekend, we decided all to dress up as one of our coworkers. Matt Views is so commonly known on the internet. But we told Matt we were all dressing up as Toby instead. So Matt showed up wearing a Hawaiian shirt, and we all showed up wearing Matt's typical anime outfit, and it was amazing.
It was.
Last year we dressed up as Brandon, and so the question is, who's going to be next year? Stay tuned.
Stay tuned. It's already been answered, but
It's already been answered,
it's
so you
a
have to
surprise.
wait a whole year
Yep.
to find out who we're going to dress up as next.
Yep, but I think it's a harder wait for us.
Yes. Hey, Ethan. How's it going?
Hey, what's up? I didn't bring big brushes, and this is a big miniature.
You're just priming, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, here. There's my priming brush.
Oh,
It's
thanks.
Definitely
Oh
not
yeah,
anything.
she gross. I love it.
Not anything fancy, but
Yeah,
it will
don't
get
worry,
the
I
job
have-
done for priming.
I have more gross brushes than not. They're more useful, right? Like
Oh, yeah.
gross brushes are the best because you can beat them up. And
Well, that's the thing is these are brushes that are I've got brushes that are quite expensive, the sable ones, but eventually they aren't so nice and they just become junk brushes.
yeah, exactly.
It's a circle of life.
Yeah. Oh dang, I forgot. Doug Lilly passed off the gifts, the painting gifts of glory
What?
to me. The other thing, I don't remember what it was, but
Oh, the cup and everything.
the
Yeah,
thing for the
they're-
cup.
Yeah, they're
the
really
brush
nice.
Cleaner.
Yeah, the brush cleaner. Yeah.
I won't be able to use it.
Hey, Nigel. Thanks for joining us, man. I know you've been asking for this for a long time, so thanks for joining us tonight.
Joining us in. Thanks for
And
joining.
if you're painting along with us, I'd love to know what you're painting. So I often get asked a lot, what kind of color do you start with a primer? So it's a little bit different if you're painting a giant army. The nice thing about Citadel and Army Painters, they all have the different color spray primers. So if you're painting Blood Angels, they make a red primer and you just kind of get going. But for me personally, if I'm just painting individual minis, which that's usually what I'm doing, I prefer a darker base. And the reason is if I miss a spot, it just looks like a shadow. So that's why I usually start with a darker base. And you can see I'm just kind of filling in almost, it's kind of like highlighting. I mean, I guess it is highlight because it is a brighter color, but I'm not painting the entire thing because I'm just using the black as the base. And I'm just kind of grabbing these ridges just to, grab, more of the accent to them just because that's the area that I want to go. So you can kind of see the grays coming in. Oh, you're model crafting. Is this for your the 40K army that you're building for the league, Nigel?
It takes a while to get to him,
No, yeah, you're good. Are you doing, Taneal, are you just doing a Zenithal highlighting, or are you just going to paint it, prime it?
I'm just gonna prime it black.
I've got some of the Procol primer if you want to use that.
Nah.
Okay. So how do you feel about red primer for yellow, like Imperial Fist? So I definitely who was it? I think it was Squidmar Miniatures who I don't remember if it was Squidmar or Goobertown who I first learned about the idea of putting down a red or a pink before you put on yellow. So at the end of the day, I think my methodology of using, like if I'm painting an army, I don't want to spend a lot of time painting each model that's only has like one hit point because it's going to be on the table for 10 minutes. So I want the quickest. I just want to get it done, especially if it's just like one hit point units. I'll spend more time working on like the HQ units or the vehicles, just because like they're going to be more of the people are going to pay more attention to that on the board. So if you want to put down a red primer and then paint yellow over it, I think that's fine. It can definitely make it turn out a little bit orange. So if you find that like that's the color you want, then like take any shortcut. When I first started learning how to paint miniatures, I kind of like learned in a way that there was a right and wrong method, and I don't think that's actually the case when it comes to painting miniatures. What works for you is what I would recommend. So if you like the look of the orange with the red undertones, do it. Yellow is notoriously hard to do in miniature painting because it's the way the pigments are. It's hard to make a yellow look really good. So if you found a way to do it, keep doing it. Personally, I want to just be over and done with the army, so I would probably use a yellow primer, but that's me just being lazy. Would it change if I was using an airbrush? Probably not, just because, especially if with an airbrush, you can kind of hot swap. So that's the thing is, you're using a rattlekin, you're gonna care a lot more about your environment. So because of the fumes, so you're gonna have to, if you're using a rattlekin, a lot of times you'll be outside, and especially being in New York, it's a little cold out. So I don't want to be outside very long. But if I'm airbrushing it, you can be inside. So yeah, I would probably. That would cut time for me. So using a red, throwing a red down first or a pink, I think can make a yellow pop. I did that with some of my Tyranids when I played, and I did find, again, as I mentioned, I think that the yellows turned out a little orange, a little too orange for what I was looking for. But I think that's because I used too dark of a pink or a red. Have you tried that before?
No.
Putting pink down?
No, I haven't.
Yeah. Now, again, as we're I don't know if you caught us, but we were talking about there's the new line from Army Painter coming out called the Fanatic Paints. And I have seen some footage on YouTube of their yellows, and the coverage is insane. So hopefully, as we develop better and better paints and technologies, hopefully yellows won't be such a pain in the butt to paint with as we move on. So, stay tuned. Like when I think the Fanatic paints drop the beginning of next year, 2024. So if you're painting an Imperial Fist and you want a yellow that pops, I would highly recommend checking out the Army Painter Fanatic paints when they drop, because I really like, again, if it's anything like what the YouTube videos are showing, I think it's going to be very good.
Yeah, it looks insane.
But yeah, so when it comes to, speaking of airbrushing, the more time I just use my regular brushes, because the time it takes to set up an airbrush in my house, I don't have a permanent spot where I can leave it set up. So I find that it takes too long, and by the time I get it all set up, I'm too tired to keep painting. So I personally have just been using more just the typical brush. But I'm not doing armies. I'm painting more D&D minis.
You might want to move your microphone down a little. It looks like it's pretty quiet. Like closer to your mouth, maybe.
Like that. Is that better? Check 1, 2.
Yeah,
test.
that looks better.
All right,
yeah.
cool.
Just levels. I can't hear it, so it's guessing.
Yeah.
I'm definitely of that mindset that like whatever gets you to the finish line, like, I'm an experimenter. I definitely don't do things, I guess, traditionally. I stay away from like too much learning from like a structured learning, I should say. I like to learn from other painters and like their technique, but I would rather experiment or, I don't know, do it the gross way.
Yeah, Yeah, I think there was I think a couple of years ago, there were a couple of pro painters who they challenged them. So there was 1 month where they were kind of doing a challenge amongst several of the group where they had to paint every week they had to paint a miniature using a style they had never done before.
Mm.
And it was really cool to see how they learn different techniques and everything. And I thought that was really, because like it's so easy to get into just the routine. And again,
Yeah.
it's different if you're painting for like Dungeons and Dragons or you're just like single characters. When you're painting Tyranids and you've got 1.5 million termagants to paint, you don't want you don't want to learn new techniques. You just want to get it done. But I think that there is something really cool about challenging yourself. I remember like one of my favorite challenges I did is I tried to paint a mini without using any washes.
Oh.
And that actually like kind of changed my entire style. Like I found it, I actually prefer not using the washes.
Yeah.
It can save some time, and I really like it. So yes, are we gonna be carrying the new paints? Yes. From what I'm seeing, Army Painter is gonna be, so for those if you have not seen, Army Painter has their war paints line, and that's like their most common thing. All the starter sets, they come with war paints, and these new paints are supposedly going to phase out their line. It's going to be their whole new starting line. So I have seen 2 dates. I'm not sure when the actual release date is. I just have seen January, February. Now, if it's anything like some of the other Army Painter releases, I wouldn't be shocked if that gets delayed. I know there was a delay with the speed paints, both editions, 1 and 2. So I am not entirely sure, but yes, we will be carrying the new paints. Or I think you were saying something, Taneal, I'm sorry.
Oh no, you're fine. I don't remember. Must not have been important. I'm sure it'll come to me. Oh, the washes. That's
Oh,
what it
yeah,
was.
yeah.
I don't like washes. I think it's an unpopular opinion, but I find that every time I've used one, I always like come to regret it some way, shape, or form. So I don't. Honestly, I've found that like it probably increases my time spent doing. But I am very, very hobbyist. It's just like for fun. I don't think I would make a profession of it or consider myself a professional painter in that sense. But yeah, so it's just more time spent just means more time in your hobby.
Yeah.
Right?
I definitely have had moments where I immediately regret putting a wash on.
Yeah.
I have found that if you water them down, it does work better. You can always put more on, but it's very hard to take it off.
Yeah.
So I'll dilute it down with Lamy and medium, and that really does help. Especially like with contrast paints, like or speed paints if you're using Army Painter.
Yeah.
I think that really does help because it kind of does the wash step for you. The classic base coat wash highlight was a great way to introduce people to paint, but some of the newer paints definitely showcase a different option.
This is so many crevices, so many cracks.
Yeah.
Beating this brush up, I'm glad it's a mess already.
Oh, I'm pretty sure that was a $3 brush from Michael's, so I'm not
Have a
super
lot of those.
concerned. And so if anyone who's watching along wants to see these minis, we're probably not going to finish all of the mini tonight. We are going to be keeping the minis here in store as we paint them. So they're going to be in one of the display cases so you can kind of see it in person.
Oh, I didn't know that. You mentioned that to me. Yeah, that's a great idea.
Yeah, so Cass is working on a sign saying these minis are currently being painted by Taneal and Caleb. So you can follow along with our progress in store. If you next time you come in, look for the minis. We'll have them on display.
Now the pressure is on.
So
that's a great idea. You were talking to me earlier, and I was, half in, half out, as I usually am.
Taneal pretty much ignores me.
Well, whenever I can. Do my best.
What are these models from? Okay, so we are painting a Wizkids. They're both Dungeons & Dragons models from Wizkids.
Mine's Pathfinder.
Oh, yeah, yes. yours is also from Wizkids though.
But
so.
Wizkids.
I'm painting the Tomb Tapper, which is very Dark Souls-esque. I got this
Very
mouth here in
cool.
the gut.
Yeah.
I'm not entirely sure what's going on with the head. It kind of looks like an octopus head is.
I thought it was like a drape.
I
like
don't-
a cloth draped over
but
it.
it's like it looks fleshy, so I'm not.
Ooh.
It doesn't look like cloth, so
Maybe-
I'm not sure.
Maybe human flesh?
Maybe human flesh.
Wow. See.
Yeah, so they are the Wizkids models. We talked about it before. We want to just paint a monster. Monsters are really fun to paint, especially on stream, because number one, they're excuse me,
Gross.
they're gross, but the minis are so much bigger, so it's easier to see detail. And I think like one of the secrets that I found is painting. I prefer painting monsters because it's just so much easier to paint.
Yeah.
Right, so I think I've got my first base coat done, so you can kind of start to see some of the muscle definition on my guy at least.
Did you bring any of your finished minis? Your cool ones?
I've got some in my kit that are quote finished in terms of they just need varnish on them.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I depending on how what I'm painting, sometimes I do varnish my minis. I know that's
I like to.
yeah. I put a lot of work into it. I don't want it to be
Yeah.
messed up. How has the turnout for the new mini night been?
Whew.
I think it's like, so it depends on, so there's been a couple, it's been pretty popular, but we're, depending on what league we're running, there was a Marvel Crisis Protocol league that I think is either wrapping up soon or done.
Oh yeah.
I can't remember if it's Legion or...
another week or something, but yeah.
Yeah.
It's gotta be close. at
So
this
the individual leagues have been pretty popular. Legion and Marvel Crisis Protocol have
Mhm.
both done very, very well. There's been a lot of extra games happening. I usually don't work. Can I see that file again? I'm sorry.
point. Oh yeah.
I usually don't work on Wednesday. I usually leave around like 6 o'clock on Thursday, so I often miss seeing how busy it is. But everyone seems to be really enjoying it. I know that the Marvel Crisis Protocol League sold out. So
I know like every day we have miniature players now.
oh yeah,
Like the old store, it was just like whatever events were going on. Every now and again, you'd get someone who would come in for, a planned thing. But I mean, it's insane. Every day that I work, there's someone here to play miniatures.
yeah.
With someone else.
Yeah,
and
it's
often
constant.
2 or 3 groups. So yeah, it's definitely the new store has just encouraged the miniatures community to
Yeah.
come out of the woodwork, because here they are, all at Millennium Games. So I would be surprised if the others mini night wasn't a success.
Yeah. All right, so I'm starting to. So I got my first base coat done. Now I'm starting to figure out how to start mixing in a little bit of color here. So I'm taking in that darker gray and mixing in a little bit of purple, just to kind of start giving this thing some. Try to get no idea how it's gonna work, but I just want to get some definition in here. Because it's a tomb tapper, I'm going to assume it's an undead creature, so I'm kind of thinking that flesh is decaying, and so usually that like has a little bit of a blue tone to it. So just starting to see what happens here.
Almost there. I'm almost there.
On the Rochester Mini Discord, there's been a push for a campaign starting up.
Hmm.
Talking about campaign, like a 40K campaign. I'm personally not on that Discord, so I'm not sure what kind of campaign you're talking about.
Man, the ventilation in this room, huh? It's like, okay, that was out of context weird, but it smells like paint.
Yeah.
It smells like paint in here.
Taneal also has it kept at like 150
I don't
degrees.
keep
so
it.
so if I'm sweating on camera, please know that it was not by choice.
Okay.
I was forced into these situations. So
All right, so this streaming room was a gift, I should say. It's a gift to
No.
me because I am always cold. This store is freezing, always. And this room is nice and warm, except in summer when the AC's on. But I don't have control over the temperature for this room because it's the same temp control for our inventory stockhouse room.
Yeah.
What do we even call it? It's huge. And of course they're all running around. That's where you want the AC on. So it's freezing in here. All summer long, I'm wearing a big blanket sweater.
It's
and
gigantic. I'm pretty sure you could survive in the North Pole with that.
It's called
thing.
an Udi. Sponsor me, you know, like, because I'll wear an Udi every day. And I do at home, so it's my outfit of choice. But it's freezing in here most of the time. So winter has been a blessing for me, and I never thought I would say that because it's so warm in this room. Safe space. Hashtag safe space.
Yeah. So if I pass out from heat stroke, please tell my wife I love her.
She heard you.
She heard
Hi,
me.
Anna. I'm sure she's watching, right?
I think she is. She said she was. I felt very vindicated when Donald walked in and was like, man, it's hot in here. And I was like, yes.
So I don't have my little brush cleaner cup. I have a paper towel.
Oh, you're talking about the puck cup
Yeah,
thing?
I have it over there, but I didn't have it in my cup, so
Oh.
we're not using it. But this was a nice gift from Doug Lilly, who did a stream
A couple weeks ago.
a couple weeks ago. He also gave me this, which is for dry brushing, so it's
Yeah,
like to soak off the water. It's pretty
Those things are
cool.
fantastic.
Yeah, I'm very excited to use it. Donald, this is the first Donald's heard of this because I keep forgetting to bring it home. So I would be using it now. Ew, it's Caleb. Yeah, right. I know, right? Ew. That's what I say.
I'll go get if you don't like seeing me, I'll go get my costume for Matt, and then I'll just transform into Matt Views.
But you have to do it to like the Sailor Moon.
Oh my god.
Sailor Moon, Matt Views.
Oh, this is a thing.
Yep.
We're doing this.
Yep. So this is gonna be a video. Spoiler alert:
Yeah,
we're gonna make this video.
Matt doesn't know.
Matt doesn't know yet,
yeah.
Unless he's watching.
If you're watching, surprise, Matt, you're doing this video.
Surprise! But it's like, I mean, it'll mainly be you doing the little dance that she does.
Who wants to pay? Oh, Wonderland's War. How many minis are in that one? I've only ever seen the poker chips, or not the
It's a big box.
the chips. I know it's a giant box, but how many minis are in that one, Mike?
I'm sorry, I did my best to clean it.
Oh,
But
yeah, it's fine. That brush is. I bought it specifically for that purpose. So 6 at least. That's not bad. You can paint those, especially with the speed paints. You can be done real quick. Oh, and then all the card minis. Oh, okay. So 26. What are the card minis? I don't remember the card minis in that one. I have yet to play that game.
I've seen the box.
I
had to restock it.
I think we sold out in like 10 seconds.
Yeah.
I think so. Yeah, I saw the box once, and then it walked out the door.
Yep. Oh gosh, what should I paint? She's just so. I mean, I don't want to be tied to blue just because she's a blue dragon, but I feel like blue is her personality. You know, like sharp and sassy, very regal. She's got like this. Just
you talking about Donald again?
Gorgeous sass, yeah. He does have gorgeous sass. He's very sassy. Oh.
Okay, so here's the biggest painting question that's out there.
Oh dear.
Do you lick your brushes?
No.
No.
I see
proud.
you.
And
don't worry.
proud.
I see you.
No, I'll rinse them off, but like, yeah.
There may be a few reasons why I passed out,
Yeah, no.
It's 100% the temperature in this room.
I just want to let everyone know that Caleb also eats dried pasta.
It's true.
Not only is it his favorite snack, but
Last time I ate pasta, I looked at one and I thought of that. I actually bit it, and I was like, how does he do that?
yeah, I know. No, he's a psychopath. He likes the 3-color rotini.
Yes, because
Yes.
they all have different
Because they
flavors.
all have different flavors.
Yeah.
Because they're made out of vegetables. Homeboy, we call him botulism. He is a culture of botulism with a face,
All I say is you guys are yucking my yum
which
without,
is the
without
worst
trying it.
phrase.
Without trying
I think we
it.
all can agree. I'm sure. Oh.
Yeah, when me, Cliff, and Jenna Lee went to Gen Con,
Mhm.
I bought a box because they didn't believe me that I actually ate raw pasta, and
Oh
so
my God.
I bought a box, and the look on Jenna Lee's face, I will never forget.
Yeah.
It was
Good.
amazing. It was
Good.
worth the $1.50 it cost to buy that box.
Oh my god. I didn't mix my paint well enough. Yeah. Well, I mean, you've sent me pictures of like you eating a full box of pasta with next to a glass of red wine.
Yeah.
So it's like there's
Because we're
no
classy in my house.
woof. Don't say house. Anna does not eat dried pasta.
No, she
There's
does
no
not.
way.
No, she I think she did try one the other day, and she kind of looked at me like,
Yeah, like what is
what's going
what's the
on?
appeal here? Really, just ugh, God. I just like you might have one or two when you're making exactly eating the raw starch. Yes, like
yeah. Listen,
not
everyone
good
asks,
for you. I just imagine like over time, slowly, the cement ball in your digestive system of raw pasta.
Everyone doesn't understand. That's all
Everyone,
I can say.
yeah, no one.
Everyone always complains when their snack gets eaten by someone else.
Oh my
And
God, I hate this excuse though because it's stupid.
But here's
No one ever eats my snack. No one ever eats my
That's
snack because
true.
no one wants to eat dried pasta.
I know.
Yeah, your snack sucks. It's disgusting. Of course, no one's eating your snack. Sure. Whatever, Caleb.
And it's also very inexpensive, so I can just keep on going. Although my second favorite snack is I did buy a giant jar of pickles the other day.
Oh, I do.
And
love
I have
pickles.
been. Luckily, I've been pacing myself.
Yeah.
Because usually, like a giant jar of pickles will get me through like. We made unboiled pasta. Yeah, so like right out of the box, just handful. Yes, and this is not sarcasm. This is I say it with pride.
No, like imagine you're sitting down to watch a movie, and you grab a bag of chips. Caleb does that with a box of pasta.
It's true.
That's psychotic. That's actually psychotic. There's something like, and you lick your brushes. Like, okay, we have two. You're 2 for 2 here, dog. You gotta have something going for you. Dried pasta. It is my favorite thing to tell people about you, though, especially when people think you're like this normal. Like,
Yeah.
wow, look, he's so like he's young, he's hip, because you have a look about you that
This
says
says,
like
"I know what I'm
young
doing."
and hip, and I know what I'm doing, and and then I just like to just be like, hey, oh yeah, Caleb, yeah, he's cool. Do you know he eats dried pasta like a lot? Like it's his favorite snack. Like, yeah, I've tried to. Usually they try to justify it because it's like,
Everyone's
they're
tried one
gentle
while- yeah, oh,
and
yeah.
polite.
Yeah,
like,
like,
oh yeah,
yeah.
well, whenever I'm making pasta, I'm like, no.
No, you're not listening.
He has a stock of dried pasta specifically for eating, like you would a bag of chips. See, right? Like, yeah, unsubscribe.
Don't worry, Matt. I won't be eating it on stream because it's too noisy. The microphone. I could do an ASMR.
ASMR.
Yeah, well, yeah,
Shut
Amazon.
All right, I don't like this color. We're going in a different direction. I'm mixing.
I mean, you want just like mixing the black paint. Or you not want blue?
I don't want blue.
No.
I
So it's no longer a blue dragon.
put a little down. No, I don't. Well, I'm just not sure. I think I want to do like an emerald green, like something like that. I feel like would be almost
could-
like a velvet dragon, like
If
velvety
you,
green.
If you did a blue base and then
There
layer
it
on top of that
is.
with emerald, I bet you that'd be really cool.
Ooh.
How's it going? Thanks for joining us.
Hey. Wow, my eyesight is getting awful. I can see
Clearly now that the
some
rain
of
has
it.
gone.
Yeah, sure. Or I could do like a teal. No, I want deep, rich green. That's what we're doing. Deep, rich green. Maybe with a little bit of blue. That's why Caleb's the larger screen, because I'm indecisive. He's also the pro painter, literally, so we'll give it to him this time.
I don't know. I just started painting for the first time in a long time again.
Yeah.
I took a very long hiatus off
Yeah.
of painting.
And everything I've seen that you've painted recently has been like you never put the brush down, so you're fine.
Hey, thanks for well, we would love to actually have a mini paint party. I know that's been something that we have talked about. Like, so we're doing this on stream, but I know that there has been discussion of possibly just kind of like doing I have no words like community roundtable style, just like
yes.
having some tables in the game room where we're all just getting together and paint.
Yeah.
I know like that's what I was doing before COVID was me and Matt, who's also in the stream with us. Who will be joining us on stream next week. We would just get together and paint, and I feel like that's when my mini painting hobby went through the roof, because I could always Google or YouTube like how to dry brush or whatever, but just having someone sitting across a table or next to me and just like asking like, hey, like how do you do this, and just seeing it and like working with, like that's when everything started making sense for me. So yeah, we're getting there. So we got a little bit of a purple overtone with this thing. So again, the box art was just very, very dark, and so I'm just trying to add some color in there. So I'm thinking pale flesh. Now, are you painting? So, are you and Glenn painting like Warhammer armies, or just more of like board games? Like, what are you painting? Matt, what can I say? I'm a hype guy. I know what I want to do, and I get everybody excited. And sorry that I can't help
that's
myself.
Matt. Oh, hey. Okay, I didn't realize.
Well, if you get a 3D printer, you can design your own minis. You can do the digital art and then just print them and then paint them. All right, get a little bit more just solid purple in here. Oh, FDM printers, yeah. I did it. I used to do a lot with resin printing.
Yeah, no, I know. You're looking at me because you're like, come on, take the bait. Yes, I do a lot of 3D printing resin right now, but I'm also looking into an FDM printer.
Yeah, the FDMs are awesome for terrain.
Yeah.
Hey, Glenn.
Well, Loot Studios. Hey, Glenn. Loot Studios put out a larger tavern with like an inn attached to it, and they only released FDM, and it is the cutest thing I've ever seen. So
Just by the yawning portal from Wizkids. It's already painted. And it's got a portal in it, and it yawns. It's
Yeah.
tired.
Yeah, but then how do I justify another 3D printer right? Like, you gotta think
print,
about these things.
You gotta print the stand for, like, that it sits on your shelf.
I see.
You're clearly not thinking in the fourth dimension.
Right.
Now, the thing that has always intrigued me about an FDM printer was board game inserts for organizing board game boxes.
Yeah. That would be dangerous for you.
Yeah, I have a few of those.
Next up will be learning 3D, like AutoCAD and stuff, though, because I'm deep in.
What was that?
The next up will be like learning AutoCAD, like 3D design.
So actually doing like the modeling yourself, yeah.
Yeah, I have a cosplay that I really want to do that I'm gonna have to like make the mask for it.
Oh yeah.
Because it's just hasn't been done the right way yet, so I can't find what I need, so I have to make it.
So I think this might be a little too purple, but we're going with it.
I like that shade, though. It looks almost magenta on the camera, but it's a little bit more like.
Yeah, I think, and some of it's still as it dries. I think it's.
Yeah.
I think it's like darkening out a little bit.
Yeah.
I just wanted to have like more like color.
Mm-hmm.
Never too purple. I appreciate you.
See?
There's one time I was like, I love painting with purples, and I was like, I don't remember what mini I was painting, but I painted something. I was like, what's a good accent color? I was like, oh, green. Green looks really cool. And I got done painting. I'm like, I just painted the Joker by accident. Dang it.
It's okay. You make a lot of bad choices, so
That's
that
true.
really pales in comparison.
That's true, I do.
Oh, yeah.
So you're doing the green?
The green, for sure. Thrilled with it.
You just say it's a colorblind dragon.
I'll just say it's a green dragon. No one has to see the box.
I will.
You will?
I will.
I guess we should put the box up in our case, right? Next
yeah,
to it.
yeah.
Cause to show like what it was that we did and where you can find it, kind of thing. Because these are our miniatures that we took off the shelf.
Yeah.
We were like, hey, this is the wall of miniatures that we have. Let's pick something good. You too can paint a blue dragon green.
Next, we'll do a color theory video.
Yeah.
What happens when you take blue but don't want it to be blue, but you want green instead?
You want green instead.
So you're gonna have to send can you send pictures in chat or no?
I don't think so.
All right. Well, you'll have to put. I want to know. I want to see some pictures of these dragons you have painted.
Yeah. I think if you like send a link, like that kind of thing, just like no viruses, like please.
Oh yeah.
Just be kind. The bots are
What's going
getting
on?
excited. Send a link?
A
You gonna
link?
click on my link? Oh my god, we get so many of those now.
Yeah.
Now that we're like, bigger, I guess.
Yeah.
The store. Ever since we moved into the new store, it's been like daily.
So many.
3 or 4 times,
amounts,
yeah. It's awful. On every post, there's a comment. It's like, come on.
Send it to.
Or I love the ones that like include like a compliment that has nothing to do
Oh yeah.
with it. Like, wow, I love your whole art collection. Like, homie.
We're a game
I
store.
I put hashtag #artstream, so I guess you got close. You almost did it.
Yeah, you tried. It's the attempt that counts. Really.
Yeah. Man, the lighting on my side, huh? You chose the right way.
Yeah, I know.
Straining my eyes. Aesthetic over substance, I guess.
Yeah, I walk into the boiling paint studio, and the lighting is like
Cozy.
a cozy jazz coffee shop. And Tina's like, "This
Cozy
lighting's fine, right?" I'm
jazz.
like,
That is the nicest thing you've ever said to me. Thank you.
"You're welcome." It's
Wow.
also terrible painting lighting.
Well, and I am straining here. My eyes are. Luckily, I'm just kind of going for it, so. Which is usually what I do anyway.
Is anyone painting along with us? I know that we had one viewer doing some 40K assembly.
Or what are you doing while you're watching it? Are you eating dinner? Do you have us on just like in the background, kind of half listening, not really paying attention, but looking up every now and again? Like, what's the vibe right now?
Are you looking for raw pasta recipes?
No. Recipes?
Mhm.
Oh boy. You put it in a pot and boil it with water, and it turns
No,
into
it's not. It's not raw
edible.
anymore. That is el dente.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, no, that is a struggle. Getting
Yeah.
getting a good workspace is a struggle.
Struggle. I just like go to whichever spot in my house is clean that day and find find a way. Life finds a way. Or Taneal finds a way. Laying on hotel bed. Oh,
Yeah, you
dang,
didn't bring
yeah.
your paints with you, Matt, to Cali?
How was traveling? How was the trip? The journey? The journey out west.
Did you ever see Five
Almost
Goes
broke
West?
Yes. It's a crucial movie from my childhood, yes.
Yes.
And the one where he gets lost.
See, I'm not alone here. I'm not alone. Ramen is delicious.
But I feel like raw ramen isn't it? Aren't the noodles cooked and then dried?
It doesn't matter. It's still raw.
I think
that's what I'm claiming.
I could be
here.
wrong,
I'm claiming that they're the same because
but a little different.
I just think you need to try it.
Who hasn't tried raw pasta?
Yeah.
The discussion
But
is
do you,
not
okay, but
is
do
raw
you-
pasta tasty. It's like, yeah, sure, you might have one while you're cooking pasta, and it's like,
but do
yeah,
the different-
what a nice.
Do you know the different tastes
what a
between
nice-
the three flavors? See,
Jesus.
this is like I'm looking for level 2 here. I'm not looking for
surface
like,
level. Don't dip your toe into this
Yeah.
raw eating pasta world.
Yeah,
you gotta jump in with both feet. No, thank you. And the risk of botulism. I mean, let's just be real here.
I hate renting cars.
Ooh, mashed potatoes and green beans. A
Ooh.
delight.
Great. I haven't had gravy and green beans in a long time. All right.
Gravy and green beans, or just like separate?
Sometimes there
Oh
are
boy.
dishes where
Oh
they're
boy.
together. They're together in some
Here
dishes.
we go.
They're together in some dishes.
Okay.
All right. So now I'm gonna come back in here with some like higher grays and start like just grabbing some highlights here because I like the purple, but I wanted the purple to be a little bit more subtle. So I'm kind of treating the purple as a second base coat.
And here I go, slapping on some green. Can't see anything because I chose the dim light. That's me explaining my professional process. Sorry.
Yeah. You probably could have thought clearer if it was cooler in here. Your brain was probably just like,
I am
I can't-
wildly comfortable.
I can't process.
I mean, it's a little warm in here for me, like just a touch, but I'm not hot. I'm comfortable.
Yeah, car rentals are an experience. When we went out to Colorado, and the process, even if you book in advance, they don't make it easy for you. Like, I don't know when's the last time you rented a car, but I rented a car in Colorado. Paid for it like 2 weeks before.
What's that?
Between you?
Yeah.
A set piece.
It's from the Lord of the Rings thing.
Oh, yeah.
It's not.
Wow. It's not out yet.
Yeah. So
It comes out on
this is the
Friday.
Lord of the Rings
That's right.
set piece. Thanks for Sean for
From
bringing it in.
the-
So you're getting an exclusive.
Wow, from the holiday release. It comes out Friday.
so let's see if I
These
can
are
get
the scene boxes, right?
I think so.
Yeah. Oh
so
my
you
gosh,
can-
it's gorgeous.
Yeah, this is really cool.
Oh my
Lord of the Rings art.
God.
Yeah, so Friday I think is the
Friday,
release.
yep, holiday release, and then Saturday we're doing the return of Lord of the Rings Commander Party.
Yes.
Yeah, during our normal Commander, and you play in that, and then you can play in regular Commander for the same price all in one price for one $10 bill.
And you get it back in store credit.
Yeah, and you get it back in store credit. It's basically free. Closer to me.
Closer to you.
Yeah.
Do you even play Magic?
I play Lord of the Rings.
Oh, you play Lord of the Rings. So it's basically your like Lord of the Ring, like Magic is like Travis Kelce, and you're Taylor Swift. So it's just like.
Oh, I was like so lost.
Where are you going with this?
I still don't understand the reference, but like there's enough context now to say, oh, I won't get this. I don't know who those people. I know Taylor Swift, but
Okay, so you have not.
I don't know
You've
the
not
other
been
one.
following with meme culture and know about the whole thing with Travis Kelce. So he plays for the Kansas City Chiefs.
no sports. There we go. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
why
okay, well-
I tune these things out, right? But go ahead.
Well, so
Go ahead.
anyway,
I'll take
I
the-
think they're officially dating. I don't know.
Oh, okay.
But anyway, she's been going to several of their games, and so all of the Swifties are now following the Chiefs.
No.
Like the
Oh, they're all
fake,
fans
the
now.
fake T-shirts I've seen are like
Oh,
I'm the
boy.
biggest fan of Taylor Swift's boyfriend's team. Like
Nice.
it's like, oh, it's so good.
That's,
So
yeah, that's pretty cool. But yeah, it must be like a sport meme, you know.
and that,
Oh, I see.
ladies and gentlemen, is
faces.
the only sports reference I have made this year. I think actually.
Well,
Usually I'm not the one. I'm usually the one people have to explain the memes to.
I'm glad to be one level below you.
You guys need a store sign behind us. We've got the like.
No, I want to do a neon. I want
A neon
yes,
Millennium
yes,
sign would be
custom
really
neon Millennium game sign. Travis, if you're watching, how cool would that be, right? Millennium Games. He's watching, right? Sure, he's watching. Sure, he's watching.
Sweet. Are you watching?
Oh yeah, I forgot to post a story. It's only 7:30. And I finished priming, so this is the perfect time to join. Wow, paint stream.
Wow.
Wow. Wow. If you want a behind the scenes look of this stream and the absolute mess of chords that is This is the nice part to look at.
It's true. I am the sports ball fan.
Go follow us on Instagram. It's millennium.games. That's millennium.games. 2 L's, 2 N's.
And 1 dot.
And 1 dot. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
It's your best contribution yet.
Thank you.
We're live.
All right, so I am starting to add the highlights, and this is actually starting to look really cool. It's got the purple undertones, but it's starting to look more like pallid, fleshy.
And what's the, oh yeah. This is what I do all day. This is my job.
Yeah, if anyone has not met Taneal yet, she's the wizard behind the scenes who, anytime you're seeing anything online, social media wise, odds are she's had her hand in it.
My grubby little hands all over it. Brought to you by... Still the thing I'm most proud of is the Hobbit video.
The Hobbit video
was my peak.
Was amazing.
And everything went downhill after that because we immediately, like a month later, we were in the new store.
Oh yeah, that's
yeah,
right.
And it's been a little bit busier for everything. Everything's busier. Every facet of the store, which is great, but we're getting there. Things have leveled out a lot since we moved in. Yeah. We've expanded into it too. Like we had so much empty space, which I mean is funny because there was so much breathing room, but we've filled it up nicely. Yeah. I think. So things are settling in now. So
I think my favorite part of the new store is watching people walk in for the first time and just seeing the look of like, whoa.
Yeah. It's funny, it still happens like every day, you know. It's slowed down a little bit, but
is that like
photos to upload?
Yeah, I'm glad you guys found the store too.
Let's see. Oh, it opened over there. Let's try to do this from 50 yards away. Oh my god, I did it.
Oh my gosh.
Wow. Oh my
those
gosh.
Are sweet. I love
Oh my
those
god,
icons are
I
awesome.
love the ghosts. The ghosts.
I love
the
Night
color.
Hunt. When I played
Oh my
Warcry,
God,
I
I
played
love
Night
that.
Hunt,
Oh
and
my
they're
God.
so much fun.
Those are gorgeous.
Yeah, nice job. Those greens are
Oh my goodness.
very good.
Aw. I love
the
it.
Groot.
Yeah. Dragon. Oh my god, are those potion bottle dice?
Oh my gosh. All right. Taneal's gone. She's gone.
Oh
It's
my
been real,
god.
everyone. Taneal's gone.
Those are so cute. Oh my gosh. What's that? Is that painted? The D&D. Is that a like a dice tray or lid? Is it resin? I can't tell. No, metallic paint maybe? My eyesight's real bad and these are my old glasses. My new glasses broke, so I can barely see.
Did that rain has gone?
Sure. Let's pop back over here, because... There we go. 3D printed with resin. Oh,
Okay, that's
nice.
awesome.
Yeah, that is awesome. 12 codes. Oh, there's details here. Let's see. The red dragon, turtle, and D&D boxes done underneath.
We have wet blending, like transitioning
awesome.
colors from like a wet blending is no joke. We have a guy here in our community who is a phenomenal mini painter.
Who's that?
Eric.
Oh yeah.
The way he can transition colors is I've never seen anyone do it like so I want to have him on stream. Just to
Yeah.
have him.
Oh my God.
How-
That'll
how
be
do
the
you-
celebrity guest really because
Yeah.
the God.
Yeah, how
It's
do
insane.
you make your colors
Yeah.
do what you make them do?
Yeah.
Because I'm not sure if I know
Oh
how.
my God.
yeah,
Yeah.
he's very good.
Everything you thought you knew.
Caleb is so quiet. Please, oh, I'm sorry about that. Sorry.
I can turn it up to the on the board. It might be that.
If I move it down a little bit, get it closer.
Trying to look at the levels here. Yep. And
Is that better?
right into it
Yeah,
too.
if
You
I'm
want
talking down here, is this better?
it might be a soundboard thing too. I can adjust if needed.
Yeah, sorry. These are directional mics, and we're looking down. So yeah, sorry about that. Let me know if this is. I've got it closer to my mouth. So let me know if that's better.
I'll turn these up too from. Let's see if that's any better.
Yeah. So
If
we just increased the volume too.
Yeah.
So.
I can turn it up on the soundboard, which will be more. Sometimes it like duplicates the audio if I go too high on there. So
Yeah.
We'll try to avoid that.
Still pretty quiet, or is that better?
Bit better. Maybe no. Yeah, I changed it on OBS, so it's turned all the way up on OBS, but I think it is like a.
Okay.
These
Cool.
microphones aren't. That's good. But yeah, one thing that was said about these mics is like they have to be like right close to you.
I know we just got those new headphones. Do they have mics on them? Like, could we do-
No, they're just
Just headphones.
yeah,
Right.
yeah. They might come with it. No, I think.
Thanks for joining us, Matt. Have fun at the con.
Yeah, have fun. See you next week. Paint stream with Matt. Stay tuned. Getting greener. We're getting greener.
Getting greener. What do you think of the dry brushing sponge? Are you dry brushing, or are you?
No, I'm just kind of like a vague kind of. We'll call it a moist brush, even though I know a lot of people hate that word. What's a better word for it though? Like slightly
damp.
Damp, yeah, slightly damp brush.
Have you ever seen?
My mid brush.
Have you ever seen Dr. Horrible's Sing Along blog?
You've referenced this to me. No, I have
Oh,
not.
so good.
You know, I'm of the generation and everything. I'm not a fan of Neil Patrick Harris.
So, I would mostly agree. This stands out.
This is the one.
This is the one, yeah.
This is the one. Okay. A lot of people like it. I know it's. I tried. Have tried,
Yeah.
and I just.
Nathan Fillion in it
So,
is amazing.
Yeah.
I'm
Well,
glad you.
I like.
I'm glad you guys enjoyed Blood on the Clock Tower. That game is so much fun.
Oh my God,
We-
that game.
I ran a 17-person game last weekend. and
Was Matt Views in that?
Yeah.
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 He said he was in one.
It
He
was.
didn't mention you would run it. Wow. Was it insane?
It was insane. Yeah,
That's
I definitely think
awesome.
that 17 is definitely too many people.
Yeah.
I think the sweet spot for me is I think I've run 13 or 14, 12 or 8 and then 17. I think that 14 is the sweet spot for
Sweet
me.
spot.
At least in that starting scenario. I have not run one of the other scenarios
Oh, you
like
haven't.
no,
Oh, wow.
because every time I have taught it, I'm usually just teaching
Yeah.
a bunch of new people
Yeah,
and
it's the first time. Yeah.
yeah, and that first, like, some of the other scenarios are so weird. Like, there are roles where, like, the demon will randomly become a role that wasn't originally in the game, so it changes roles
Oh my
halfway. So
God.
it gets pretty complex.
Yeah.
So especially after working a full day, I'm not ready to run
Yeah,
some of
yeah.
those advanced ones. But yeah, no, I'm really glad you folks enjoyed it. Yeah, normally I don't love social deduction games because I, number one, suck at them. I'm not good at lying. But yeah, Blood on the Clock Tower is one that will make an exception for every time.
Yeah, I've played it once. You ran it for
The staff,
Yep,
yeah.
staff after on a Sunday, and it was not what I was expecting.
Mm-hmm.
Like from everything that you had said about it, I was very interested in it.
Yeah.
But it was so much more. The potential is your imagination.
Oh, yeah.
Whatever you make it,
Yep.
and it was really a lot of fun. Where did you run it here?
No, there was a Halloween party that a lot of our board game regulars
Oh, cool.
were at, and so because it was Halloween, I decided to run Blood on the Clock
Yeah.
Tower.
Perfect thematic too. Man, painting in this, like the back of this is gonna be a nightmare.
Oh yeah, that is the one downside to a lot of the prepackaged minis
Yeah.
is they
Base
look really cool, but they're
included, and
not
yeah.
easy to get.
Yeah.
Which is another reason why I personally like starting from a black base, just because if you miss a spot, it's a
Yeah.
shadow.
I was considering the I don't know what her name is. Xperia? Is that her name? The
Sphinx from Magic.
Sphinx from Magic. They have a miniature, and the wings are detached, so you
Yeah.
glue them on. It's a really cool mini, but
I know a lot of people,
I love
especially
this
when they're
dragon.
painting Warhammer, they paint on the sprue or like before they assemble. And and the reason they do that is they can get to every like nook and cranny.
that's typically what I do, unless it's like I don't know, something small.
Well,
Like I'll
the
throw
thing that
on.
I struggle with is trying to envision how they're all going to line up for like shadows and stuff like that. If I'm not seeing the mini.
I love like your organized, like wonderful
Paint
like,
case?
you've got this whole situation going on over there. Yeah, you've got your little paint case, you've got your little mat, and then there's me.
You're having fun too.
I'm having fun. Here's all the paints I could fit in front of me, and I've used 2.
I think one of my favorite moments was I think there was this is like probably right when you started working here because I think you had started right after Brandon did, and so I think your D&D. I think you guys might even been traveling or something like that. And so Brandon invited me over. So Taneal's part of a D&D group.
Run by Brendan, who works here.
Yeah,
my
run by-
forever DM and BFF.
And so I went over to paint, and Frank was there. And so I walk in, and he goes, "Oh, Caleb, do you paint a lot?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And I just like put everything on the counter, and he goes,
Oh. Yeah, I can hear him. I can hear his
"Oh."
voice. Aw. That's funny. Yeah, that was around the time we had just started, too, so it was like getting our...
Yeah, painting on the sprue. Yeah, that's the side of it that I don't understand. People make it look like I've seen some people like do like great work. I know that a lot, like one thing that's really popular when people paint before assembling is the face. If you're doing like a Space Marine and it's a head, so they'll just put the head on like a needle and then paint it there.
Oh, I've seen
Because you
that,
can just
yeah.
you can do so much more trying to get with that direct rather than trying to work around the helmet.
Yeah.
But I've had issues where my glue messes with the paint job, so it's like I don't understand how that works.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I'm using your not dry brushing but dry brushing technique, and it's working really well.
Oh yeah, that's nice. I love the that like purpley pink flesh tone thing
Yeah.
you've got going on there. It's nice.
Oh yeah, if you're basing separate, that totally makes sense. I do tend to base around the mini, just because again I'm lazy. But yeah, no, if you're making your base separate than the mini itself, that definitely makes sense. I've watched people paint individual arms and then glue them all together, and it looks fantastic. And that's just I just don't have the eye for that.
Yeah.
What's your favorite mini you've ever painted?
Oh gosh. Yeah, probably. So, it's the goblin
The one you
that
just
I
did?
recently showed you.
Yeah, yeah.
The really, really tiny one. I've painted some monsters that I'm really proud of and stuff, but like, what's my favorite one? It has to be Blue the Goblin, because
Yeah.
it's this tiny little goblin, and every time I look at it, I feel joy. Like, it's
Yeah.
not necessarily the best miniature I've ever painted,
Yeah.
but it's the cutest miniature I've ever painted, and
There is some satisfaction with painting an extra small mini and having
Yeah.
it turn out the way you
Yeah,
wanted it. You're
yeah.
like,
like, wow.
I did that. Because
Yeah.
like, again, like you know, bigger miniatures, it's so much easier to paint because you just have more like workspace. So getting like a tiny mini to
Yeah.
be the way you want it
Yeah.
to feels really cool.
Yeah.
That's how I feel about those baby Yodas that I painted.
Yeah, those are stunning. Oh my gosh, and so cute. It's another thing. It's like when you look at it, it brings you joy.
Yep.
It's like I want to look at it all the time. When I take her out to play, it's my character in D&D right now.
Okay.
When I take it out to play, I just like look at it for a second, and I'm like, yeah, that's my character right there.
Yep.
I did that. I like her. So, out of sheer joy, that. As far as like best miniature I've ever painted, like technique wise, that's a tricky one. Definitely a monster. Always a monster.
Yeah.
It's just more to do.
Oh,
you
yeah.
know,
Yeah.
more to-
Yeah.
Miniatures often end up, like character minis often end up being like, oh, here's a leather bag, you know, again, or a, you know,
Yeah.
suit of armor. But
Yeah, so I agree that like larger faces are definitely harder, and they definitely take a lot more work to get painted, especially if you want it to look good. The thing that I have found is because it's so large, it's easier to correct mistakes. Where if you're painting a large face and you put a little bit of line in the wrong spot, you can easily kind of like hide it. Whereas one little paint stroke on a tiny mini is, well, I just painted the entire face black by accident.
Yeah,
And you're
yeah,
like, well,
yeah.
okay, now I gotta redo the whole thing.
yes.
So I just found the precision that's on a smaller miniature is a lot more challenging. But yes, I agree that there's definitely more work that goes into a full size, or like a larger scale mini. Like I have yet to start painting. Like I've never done a bust. The
Yeah,
head.
yeah.
I've never done one of those.
No, I
before.
haven't either. I've come very close to printing a few, but
Yeah.
I haven't committed.
So for those who are watching, what brands of paints do you like? What have you found that you've enjoyed? I think I mentioned at the beginning of the channel, beginning of the show, I'm using primarily scale 75. I really like that ultra matte. Yes, magnifying glasses and tiny brushes for small faces. I know a guy who, when he does the pupil, he just pulls out one of his beard hairs and uses just the beard hair to get that pupil just on there.
Take notes, Donald. Donald, you can't see him because he's shy, but he has a full
Very
wizard
impressive
beard.
beard.
Full wizard beard. Gandalf. Not gray yet. Gandalf the brown.
He's got more
He's-
Radagast.
Yeah,
thing going on.
Radagast. Definitely more
Without
Radagast
the, without the
vibe.
squirrels.
Definitely. Definitely. Well, we
the
have
squirrels or the gray?
we have tiny dogs, so he's
Oh.
pretty much there. Radagast the brown with tiny dogs. Animals, we have cats too, so it's all the tiny animals. You're definitely Radagast.
Yeah, Vallejo. I never really used a lot of Vallejo. When I first started working here at the store, Vallejo just stopped being available to us. It was really hard to get that one, so we actually discontinued the carrying the line. That's when we switched to scale 75. But I've got a few paints from Vallejo in my kit.
I use a Vallejo matte varnish
Yeah,
that I like. A brush on one.
yeah.
I like it. All right. Base.
Oh, we have another link.
Based.
The magnifier painting. What is that?
Where's my
Yeah, the
mouse?
map.
Here it is.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
I tried one of those when I got into it, and it really just I got too distracted. I would try to.
Yeah, it's hard to like line up your brain with where your hand is.
Yeah,
Like looking in a
yeah,
mirror,
yeah.
like that kind of.
I'm sure that
Distortion.
as I get older and
Yeah.
my eyesight goes, I'll probably need.
You get used to it. I mean, using it. I mean, not
Yeah.
your eyesight going. Can't help you there.
Yeah. Yeah, my grandfather was a watchmaker, so there's a lot of
Oh yeah.
magnification
Oh, wow.
tools that my dad has from that, so I need to try to get some of those.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the problem I ran into. Was like I would do a small maneuver, and then all of a sudden it's like my mouse sensitivity is all jacked up.
Oh yeah. That's how I feel like I would get like almost motion sick, you know?
Yeah, oh, yeah. Have you ever tried like the glasses, like the one like not having a magnifying glass, but having a magnification, like
Oh,
over your glasses?
So I used to work in jewelry and diamonds specifically, so I had those for that,
Yeah.
and it was really nice and worked really well. But I should probably pop them out
Yeah.
for painting. That would probably work pretty well. But yeah, the problem is like the movement. Wearing them for so long and then moving your hands or something. It's like, oh, whoa,
Yeah.
there's the rest of the world following behind.
This is starting to come together, I think. I think once I start adding like some of the brighter colors, this thing's gonna really pop together.
Here, the D&D going on. We have our Adventures League happening in the game room, and the stream room is close by. I can hear all the DMs plotting out there.
Did I tell you one of my favorite things to do to D&D players when they come in the store?
No?
Is when they're checking in for D&D, I like to go, I hope you win tonight. And watching, like, half of them, like, kind of like look at me like I'm crazy, but then there's like some people who are like, there's no winning in D&D. I'm like, yeah, but not with that attitude. But I really
Nice.
hope you win.
Nice. Such a troll.
It's true. dragon
we go.
coming.
I got a layer,
That's
one
cool.
layer of
That's
green.
cool.
I'm gonna do kind of something tealy in the middle here, and then see what happens. Stay tuned.
I'm really the Monument Hobby Paints restock should be coming in soon, and they have a jade that I'm very excited to try. Ooh, we have another link here. Where's your mouse?
Right here. Motivation.
First paints. I love it.
Ah,
I love it.
That's precious.
I still have a picture somewhere of my first mini. It was a Frodo Baggins from a Hobbit board game.
Wow.
And I spent 14 hours on a mini that should have only taken me like 2 at most.
As one does.
There's something really special about first minis.
Yeah, no. Yes, definitely. I still have mine. It's a druid from D&D.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. It's actually way better than it has any right to be, but just saying.
Just saying. I'm pro.
You
even
know,
before I realized
well, it was just. I mean,
humble brag. I'm
yeah.
amazing.
I mean, can't help it.
All right. What am I doing with this thing now?
Oh, that was a little bright. Maybe I should tone it down. It'll probably.
There's a couple spots I missed. Priming prospect.
Yeah, I missed a few. Going across them.
I think some of my favorite minis I've ever painted was I was doing. There's the Power Rangers board game, and a buddy of mine hired me to paint them for him, and I loved painting those minis. It was really.
It's just so fun. And
Yeah.
they're so bright. Like.
Yeah, it was fun. Like literally painting it like a comic book. And
Yeah,
it was
that's awesome.
really cool to.
Yeah.
And the minis were like really like they were a larger scale. I don't know
Mm.
what scale it was, but it was a much larger size, and it was just really fun to paint.
I know how to answer the question now. MODOK. MODOK is my favorite,
Oh,
like
yeah,
best
for,
miniature I've ever
Marvel
painted.
Crisis
Yes,
Protocol?
yep, for Marvel Crisis Protocol. I spent a lot of hours on it, and he's just so gross, and he was so much fun to paint. I haven't technically finished him. He looks finished, but he's not.
Thank you for joining us. We'll do this again. We'll do an in-person one too. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thanks for joining. Thanks for sharing all your fun
Yeah.
minis and stuff
those
with us.
were awesome.
Yeah, it's nice to see. I like that. It's very interactive. But yeah, as far as like a regular stream goes, I mean, we've talked about doing something weekly.
Yeah.
But oh, my lens just popped out of my
Oh.
glasses.
That's exciting.
It's rude.
It's probably because it's so hot in here.
It's 'cause
The frames are weakened.
screw- See, I told you these are my old glasses for a reason, though, right?
Oh, the screws loose.
Yeah. Well, they also are not my prescription anymore because they're about 3 years old.
I think mine are at that point too.
Yeah. Yeah, but that's just because you don't like take care of your health, as evidenced by your botulism snacks. And you almost left your lunch
It's true.
out, like an hour later. Oh, there's Caleb's lunch. Oh, chicken? Cool.
Just
you want me to
hanging
throw
out.
this in the fridge for you?
Yeah,
Sure.
I'll be fine. I'll be fine.
Yeah.
I'll be fine.
There we go. But yeah, a weekly stream, right?
Yeah.
Which I think is weekly. The idea of a weekly stream is really nice in thought, in theory. In practice is a little trickier, just because, you know, it's a lot of energy and work, you
Yeah.
know, to set it up and everything. But
Yeah.
I think casual like this is probably the most likely, you know. like just setting up a thing and going. I want to do something in the event room though.
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
where we do a paint event and it's just like the tea time thing, the tea time with Taneal, where I'm just in there and I'm streaming painting, and you know whoever's there with me that day streaming painting and just hanging out.
Yeah.
I just think that's probably the easiest way to do something like that weekly. But it's like if I'm alone, I'll just sit here quietly and paint and forget that I'm streaming. So that's no fun.
Thank you for joining us.
On Friday. See you
Cartographers
then.
is amazing for
Cartographers.
playing something new.
Oh my gosh. One of my favorites.
The game is so good.
So good. Don't get me started. It's better than it has any right to be, honestly, for such a tiny little box, and I was so deceived by it, you know.
Well, especially because like several years ago, everyone was doing a roll and write game. Like everyone was, and that kind of came out in the wave of everything, and so it just kind of like
flew under the radar.
And I played it. And the thing that really separates it for me is the player interaction. I love and dread when a monster comes up and I have to give it to someone else.
I know. I love it.
The first time I ever played that, I was playing with it was a pretty large group. I think it was like 10 of us all playing. And 2 of us are pretty serious gamers, and the majority of the other group was not. Like a lot more just like there for, you know, the party, that kind of stuff. And so the first monster came up, and I slid mine to the guy on my right, and he was just there to have a good time.
Yeah.
And the monster fit perfectly in where I was building. Like it was like perfect.
Yeah.
And my buddy, who was also very competitive, slid it to he slid it to me, and I totally put it where it needed to completely mess up his pattern.
Yeah.
And the guy I slid mine to, he's like, "Oh man, this is like a perfect spot for yours. It fits perfectly here." I'm like, "Yeah, it does." And I'd lost no points because of that, and I'm pretty sure I won that game because I sabotaged my friend and I got the artist. It was amazing. I just played Role Player for the first time, which is the same universe.
Yeah.
And have you played that one?
Yeah, with Brandon. It's the one where you have your little character sheet.
Yeah,
right?
you're making a D&D character in dice drafting. It's awesome.
That is such a fun game.
Yeah, I was surprised at how much I enjoyed it.
Yeah, it was a delight for sure.
Yeah, I met Claire, Keith is the designer of Role Player, and I think he's the owner of Thunderworks Games. But I met
name dropping now.
I met his wife at Gen Con, and we're gonna be we talked about sponsoring them, and we are sponsoring them for Play Something New this month.
That's the. See.
Yeah.
I didn't look at the other names on the list that you sent me for Play Something New. I was just like, this week.
Cartographers. Yeah. So we're doing Cartographers. Lockup, which is also in the Role Player universe, and
see, someone knows Role Player.
Role Player is
very
good.
Fun. Yep.
And 10 Penny Parks. So 10 Penny is not set in the Role Player universe, but it's the same publisher, and it's got Vincent Dutrait's art. Who, if you are an illustrator in the board gaming industry, and if you have never looked at Vincent Dutrait's art, you should. His art is amazing. But it's a carnival system, so like there's a merry-go-round in it. It's a little polyomino game where you're just building the best amusement park, but it's got a rondelle mechanics. It looks really, really cool.
As I was making the Play Something New post.
Oh, Nick is just here to heckle me. Hi, Nick.
Nick? I don't know which Nick.
I'm going to.
You don't want to name drop, but you know, like docs. That's the word.
It's I think it's Nick U. Hey, Nick. We were actually talking about you
Nick
earlier.
U. We were.
Yeah, we were talking about Onslaught.
We were talking about Onslaught. When are you coming on the stream? Nick, you is the one that, yeah, Adventure
Yeah,
Tactics.
Adventure Tactics.
Yeah.
Which that game is just so good.
So-
I played a lot of work.
Donald's saying he plays it when he works because he works from home, so he gets to single player that game all the time. Can pop on whenever. All right, let me know. Let me know when you're free.
Yeah, Adventure Tactics was my first Kickstarter board game, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was the first one I ever backed.
Wow.
Wasn't the first one I got, but it was the first one I ever backed.
Wow.
I think I randomly came to a Learn to Play Adventure Tactics like right when I first started working here, and playing it, I was like, this is really good.
And that was before you backed it on Kickstarter?
I think it was on Kickstarter at the time, and
Oh,
I think
I
I Nick taught it to us.
Yeah.
And I think I went home and backed it immediately because it just was really good. So if you guys have not played Adventure Tactics, definitely check out that one, especially if you like Final Fantasy Tactics, the video game.
I'm seeing spots I missed. I'll go in, when I do like a little extra shadow. Go back in with black. Be fine. Alright. Get more blue in here.
Yeah, I think. I see you playing that one quite a bit. Which playthrough are you on now, Nick? Are you on playthrough like 10?
Of Final Fantasy Tactics? Oh, Baldur's Gate. Yeah. Yeah, it's a good one. Though I was going really hard into that, like last week.
Oh, number 4.
Wow. Wow.
I'm still finishing my first one.
It was one of the. I have a rule not to pre-order games, but I loved Divinity so much that I was like, Baldur's Gate 3. It's an obvious. I'm gonna buy it. I might as well have it so I can join the. It was the alpha at the time.
Oh yeah.
And we had played it as a group, and just me and Frank, who we play with video games and D&D. I've played the opening like so many times
Of
Baldur's Gate, yeah, and we were like, we can't play through the alpha because by the time the game comes out, we're gonna be so sick of it. So we kind of let it go, right? So we wouldn't hate it by the time it came out, which now I know was silly to think because it's just no way. It's so good. Yeah, Divinity is phenomenal.
Yeah, I
such
played.
a good series.
I think I prefer Divinity over Baldur's Gate.
Wow.
Especially the combat.
I feel like it's just such a different. Yeah, the combat for sure, but.
Yeah, I don't like. I'm gonna be honest here. I don't like spell slots. It's just as a mechanic.
Yeah,
I find them frustrating.
I mean.
And so
it is frustrating.
When they brought that over to Baldur's Gate, that wasn't my favorite. So I prefer the cooldown timers that were in Divinity 2. However, all that being said, the gameplay itself of Baldur's Gate is much better.
Yeah.
Like the interacting with the
story,
world,
oh man,
there's just so much to do.
Yeah.
I miss the cooldown timers of.
Yeah. I mean, spell slots are annoying. That's what they're designed to be, is like frustrating and just like, balancing, which sucks. Yeah.
No, and I understand the reasoning and like behind them because it does make sense. It does keep someone from just casting fireball over and over again. So I do understand it. It's just not my favorite mechanic.
Yeah.
Especially because like I feel like, and I know that like I know there's so much more about Baldur's Gate that I haven't explored. Just like the way you can interact with the environment, but I felt like it was so much more intuitive to like using teleport in Divinity you could teleport so many more things.
Yeah, yeah.
So I feel like I have not mastered the combat, which again is more of a my issue, not the game issue.
It does feel like Divinity had a lot of that D&D-esque, but I don't want to say quality of life improvements, but like the parts of D&D that make it kind of like frustrating, right? Or that people might not enjoy. As evidenced by you, Caleb. Keep knocking this.
Our fancy
fancy
Lord of the Rings
yes.
scene display.
Scene display coming out Friday in the holiday release for Lord of the Rings. Magic the Gathering is included in there somewhere, but Lord of the Rings. The long-awaited.
Yeah. No, the thing that I don't remember in Divinity was I don't know if you could throw people, but have you gotten to the Goblin camp in Baldur's Gate?
Yeah.
So without spoiling anything, you possibly get into a fight with some goblins in a camp, and there's a pit, and just sending my fighters in and just endlessly chucking goblins into a pit. I think I was just cackling to myself.
Yeah.
My wife had no idea what was going on, and I think if I tried to
he's
explain
finally,
it,
he's finally
he's
gone.
lost it.
He's finally
He's
off
lost
the
it.
deep end. We were getting closer every day, and it's finally happened.
What class are you playing in Baldur's Gate?
Baldur's Gate. In my personal game, I'm playing a warlock
Okay.
because.
Because.
And I mean, with that, it's like, okay, warlock, right? Warlock is such a cool class that you end up just spamming Eldritch Blast.
Oh, yeah,
with,
yeah.
Which sucks, but the nice thing with my solo game with that is you play all the characters in your party, so I figured I could get away with the warlock without getting bored.
Yeah.
Which has been true. What was I playing in our other games? Oh gosh. Oh, Bard.
Oh, Bard. Yeah.
Which I'm also inspired me playing my first Bard in D&D in our current campaign. We're doing the new Fandelver.
Oh yeah.
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 The delving, whatever it's called. Obelisk. Paladin. Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't experimented with the warlock class yet. I changed Shadowheart to a bard. Because the cleric class just felt very lame. I don't know.
What? Cleric is so OP. Oh my god, Cleric is ridiculously OP.
Maybe I haven't played D&D in a long time,
like
so
Cleric is so like it gets so much slack because it's like, oh, healer. Clerics are disgusting. Their damage, disgusting. They can do so much in all those spell slots. I think clerics are OP. Yeah, so OP, see? See? If Nick says it, must be true. Yeah.
I think, Nick, you've inspired me to play a monk after watching all of your stuff about monks. I haven't experimented with monk yet, but I think on my second playthrough I'm going to throw in some monk class. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I actually just finished Shadowheart's story line.
I got distracted with Baldur's Gate, not because I got bored by any means, but we were like playing our campaign all together, and then in your solo campaign you don't want to go past where you are with your main group, and then they weren't playing as much and coordinating. So then I started playing my solo game, and it's all replay at this point. So it's like it's hard to when I have a limited amount of time and a lot of video games.
Oh, yeah.
We're playing right now Return to Moria, the Lord of the Rings survival dwarf game. Oh my gosh. It's such a, like, as far as like a survival video game goes, it's not the most in-depth or like complicated game out there.
Yeah.
But it is such a joy being in the mines of Moria as a dwarf, and a female dwarf with a glorious beard. Are you kidding me? Like, if they didn't have beards, I wouldn't play. Like, if I'm going to be a female dwarf, I'm going to have a beard, and you can't tell me no. I would say it's more like Stardew Valley, Lord of the Rings. Very like survivally, and you know.
You heard it here, folks. Stardew Valley meets Lord of the Rings. I never.
Less campy, but it's like when you're mining, you start singing to gain inspiration to like mine better, and you gain all these like buffs. It's I don't know. There's something really joyful about it. Valheim for sure. Also a phenomenal game. Definitely. That's actually a better comparison than Stardew Valley.
I still need to actually finish the story of Sons of the Forest, since you guys got me into that one.
Yeah. Oh man, Sons of the Forest is so good. So good. Yeah, the ending too. Well, they've added a bunch of stuff since we beat the game. We go, back and forth between games anyway. So, and it's winter, so that winter's coming. So that just means more video games. But Sons of the Forest had like a really surprising ending. I was kind of like my jaw was dropped the whole time as I'm watching this. I wish I should have been filmed it.
Yeah, I've avoided spoiler. I mean, I know kind of what is happening because I've been following along with the updates, so I've seen some of the spoilers for that.
Yeah.
But I've avoided the actual story as much as I could.
Yeah. There's a lot like open for it too. Like if you're not paying attention in that game, you don't pick up the story. Like you really have to look for it to understand what's going on, because at its heart it's a survival game and you are trying to survive, and what's happening around you is secondary to that.
Yeah.
Which I like that. I think it's what the first game did really well too.
Yeah, I think I need to start saving my pennies for a new computer, because with all the announcements about Star Citizen finally being feature ready and everything,
You're ready.
I'm ready.
It is time.
It's time.
And I mean, especially for as much as you like play video games, it's one of those things where, it's worth the investment.
Well, I actually hadn't played video games a lot until the last couple of years.
Because you have a gaming PC, or because?
No. Yeah, so I love Chris Roberts, Nick. I think you and I talked about this briefly on Facebook. I don't know if you played a lot of Freelancer, but I missed the Wing Commander era. Like other than the movie, and I think I played a little bit of the game, but his Freelancer game, I mean, I put so many hours into that game. I also played a lot of, it's not Chris Roberts, but Free Space, so getting the space sim combat. So all of the alpha stuff I've played of Star Citizen has just, I know, everyone, that game is very controversial and it's got a lot of bugs, but man, the few times I've logged into even the alpha is, it was a good game. I think I remember going to a secondhand store as a kid and getting the Wing Commander video on VHS because it looked like a cool space thing. I had no idea what it was. And I'm pretty sure I watched that VHS. I think I wore it out. So I love the Wing Commander movie, and I will stand by that to the day I die.
There's a lot of people rushing to be arguing about that.
Yeah. Did you ever watch that one?
No.
Oh, Matthew Lillard, Freddie Prinze Jr.
Oh wow.
Oh yeah,
Wow.
it was so
Those
good.
are some names that make me feel old.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
Okay, there we go. See?
I recognize
There
the
are.
issues with it, and it was a very defining movie as a child, and I know it's not
you
perfect.
said you'd stand by.
Oh, I will stand by
you
that.
better,
I love it.
you better,
I,
s- you
I
better
will. I
stick
will.
true
Like
to your
I
word.
will. Anytime someone wants to watch Wing Commander, I'll be down for it. Anytime.
But if you say anything bad about the game, I will politely and mildly kind of agree with you. Fair weather fan, that's what we call that. Oh, gee, Wing Commander.
But yeah, no. So I stopped playing a lot of video games, mainly because like the computer I had bought in in college eventually phased out,
Yeah.
and I was working at a job that I was not making a lot of money, so it became harder and harder to justify spending money on a gaming PC.
Yeah.
And then just a lot of my interests changed. Like that's when I got more into tabletop gaming, started painting miniatures. My wife is not a gamer, and so there wasn't like
You want to
what-
spend time together doing things
Yeah.
that you both enjoy, and there's hobbies that you both enjoy together, yeah?
Yeah, like when we got married, we got an Xbox, and we tried playing video games together.
Has she played like Stardew Valley?
No.
You should get her into
Uh,
Anna, if you're still watching, I'm telling you, Stardew Valley is the one for you. It is the farm with the goats and everything else that you've always wanted, but in a casual and fun, cozy video game setting.
Anna did not grow up playing video games,
Yeah.
and watching her try to play video games is
Don't watch then.
I.
Leave her alone. Let her enjoy it herself.
So I've watched listening to her scream in frustration or like in fear of something jumping out. It's very enjoyable. That's all I'll say.
Well,
it's very enjoyable.
You're psychotic, as we've discussed.
One of the funniest moments with her in video games was she tried playing a third person game on our PlayStation 5. She was walking around and she kept getting lost, and she's like, I don't know how to keep following these people. And I was like, what do you mean? And I'm like watching her play, and she's moving the character, and I realized she's not using both thumbsticks. She's only using one, and what she's doing is, in order to turn her character, she's running into...
This is wrong of you to be telling people this story. You're rude.
It was... we both laugh about it
Yeah,
now,
I
but it
know.
was one of the funniest things
That's
I've ever seen, where she was
ridiculous.
using the in-game physics to move her
That's
character around,
precious.
and
That's precious.
it was hilarious. And and she pointed out, she's like, the tutorial never told me that.
Yeah.
And like so much of
Like the
modern video gaming
basic, yeah.
assumes you have played.
yeah.
So so she grew up, she didn't grow up with video games. She played a little bit of Mario Kart here and there, and that was it. So modern video gaming was she just decided it was not for her.
Yeah, that's fair. But yes, good point. Animal Crossing is a good, cozy video game. Another one that she would probably really enjoy.
Yeah.
You need a... Is it just on Switch? Well, the new one. I don't know. There's ports or whatever on PC for the older ones. Or Harvest Moon, that's what I'm thinking of, which... I haven't played Animal Crossing, but I have played Harvest Moon. It's the same thing, right? I mean...
I thought that was Stardew
It's like
Valley.
the spiritual successor.
I thought that was Stardew Valley.
No, I'm pretty sure it's Animal Crossing. Harvest Moon?
No, the Stardew Valley was the love letter to Harvest Moon, I thought.
Oh, maybe. Which one is the... Oh, maybe. I don't know.
Oh yeah, the original Halo tutorial was definitely like going back and trying to play that. The tutorial is so frustrating. Like, I just want to look around. Let me run. Let me just go. But yeah, no, it was that was one of my first forays into first-person shooter combat on a controller, and I really needed that tutorial.
Halo?
Yeah.
Yeah.
because I was like at that point I had played like Half-Life on
Yeah,
PC,
yeah.
a lot of PC gaming,
Yeah.
and so I was used to a mouse and keyboard.
Yeah.
Oh man, I played so much Halo.
Oh yeah. Halo 2 was Halo 1 I played story. I didn't get
Yeah.
much into multiplayer. Halo 2 now, me and a pistol, head to head, I'll win every time.
It's funny. My dad, when we got an Xbox, my dad surprised us with Halo, and that wasn't the game that I wanted for the first one. I think it was like a Tekken style like game, and my dad like gave us Halo, and he's like, everyone says this game is really good, and I was really mad at him. I was like, that's not the game I wanted.
God, what a rat,
but
dude.
like the game that I had wanted was like delayed or something like that. So I was like, I guess I'll try Halo.
Yeah.
And that changed my life.
Yep.
And so
and
the game that I
rest is
wanted, I don't remember which one it was.
But imagine if that game had not been delayed.
Oh my God, yeah.
This would be a different Caleb we're talking to.
It's true. One of
Less
my
trolly.
less
for
trolly.
sure.
100% less trolly. One of my cats' name is Cortana, so I got really into
you're
Halo.
In. You are in.
Exactly.
friendly
Thanks,
fire.
Dad. I think I've almost got this thing skinned down to the point where I want it.
It's looking great from over here.
The sad part is it just kind of looks like I just looks like I zenithaled it.
No.
Like I did all this where I'm like, oh, I could have
No,
just
it
done it with the
doesn't.
dry brush
No.
and been done with it in an hour.
No.
But no, having the purple, it's hard to see on the camera, but the
Yeah.
purple tones in it.
Yeah,
are,
it is. Turn your light there. Maybe like just or turn it down. The little button on it. It's bright. God, why do you lick your brush? It's so awkward. Wow, look at that cozy lighting. Oh, so bright. Did you turn it down?
No, I just turned it off.
Oh, yeah, no, I meant like,
I want to see the miniature, unlike you. Like you can't see your miniature.
no, I was saying so they can see the color.
Oh, gotcha.
Well, like, that's a little too dark. There you go, try that. You can kind of see the purples a little bit better there. It's still a little washed out, but what are you going to do?
Turn the light off. I'm like, no, I want to be able to see. Now it's all purple.
And blurry.
Come on.
Oh. There you go. You
There.
just have to paint right
Yeah,
there.
now I gotta hold it up here.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we still have. So I'm gonna have to figure out like highlights, and I want to figure out what's another color. I'll obviously make the mouth a lot more. Yeah, I realize that's why I said I'm like, that's not what I meant, but that's of course going to be the screen cap. Thanks.
Yeah.
I want to see the menu, not you.
I'm like you.
That's something Taneal would say to me.
Which is funny because it came out of your mouth.
It's true. It's true.
Maybe I've learned it from watching you, Caleb.
Oh, shots fired.
I mean, you really set the tone for like, please bully me when you told me about your dry pasta eating.
It's true.
So, I mean, you were begging for it.
One day you're going to experience it,
Oh, jeez.
and it's going to change your life. And you're going to.
Experience what? Eating an entire box of dry. I don't need to eat an entire box of dried pasta to know it's not a snack. It's not a snack. It's not a snack you choose, Caleb. It's not a snack you choose.
Haters gonna hate.
Choose like popcorn. Like that's a snack you reach into your cupboard for. Munch, delightful. You don't choose the box of rotini.
Thank
Tricolor
you.
rotini. Sorry.
Thank you. Classy. We gotta stay classy.
Oh, wow. Botulism. Just saying. Just saying. A snack. All right, there's some green, there's some blue. We get
Nice.
there. We get there.
Your
It might
base
take me
is
30 hours, but we will get there. Just not a fast painter. I don't have nice little techniques. I just paint, and if I don't like it, that means I'm just not done yet, right? I paint until I'm like, yeah, that looks good.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that looks okay. I guess I can be done now.
I think I am going to have to start winding up here for the night.
Yeah,
What
I
time
mean,
is it?
we're 8:30, yeah. That's about the time we were saying we would
Yeah.
go until, so. And for anyone who doesn't know or didn't hear, here, we'll do that. Oh, man, I missed all these. Oh, see? Thank you.
Yeah, we were.
Thank you. Yes, we were confused
Which one?
for the snack. Who was
Oh.
the snack? I am the snack. Just to clarify, Caleb is not the snack. I am the snack. I would know what a snack is. Thanks.
And yes, dry ramen.
Dry
is,
ramen.
Dry ramen is very
And
good.
we discussed this earlier. Dry ramen is a different beast because I believe it is like cooked and then dried, isn't it? Like it seems. I might be misremembering that. I feel like I watched a documentary or something random. You know those YouTube documentaries. Who
Yeah.
knows if they're real? What information you're getting, but.
There's just something
And
about
dried
this.
ramen is just different. It's just like tasty.
Well, they're both tasty. That's the true argument. They're both tasty.
And they make like snacks out of them. They use them in like recipes.
Oh,
like
yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Crush it up and put it on a corn dog. Like,
I've had dry ramen on salad before, and it's really good.
oh yeah.
It's
There
kinda
you
like
go.
crouton.
Topper. Yeah. See. Okay. Yep. Watched him put the paintbrush in his mouth, so dry pasta isn't the worst
I am
next
a
to
brush
wet
licker
paint.
and proud.
Yikes! Imagine though, right? Andy eats dried pasta, and he's proud of that. I didn't have to seek that information out. He told me. Yeah,
Yeah, I
right.
know,
You got
yeah.
it. Donald just said you have to imagine what he's hiding. If he's willing to admit that, God, doggy is a psycho. True.
Don't lick the brush. But it helps. It helps keep the brush maintained.
Moist.
Not moist. It's the shape I want.
You know what also does that? I do this, like I roll it. This is a bad example.
It's not the
because
same
this
thing.
Is a
It's
grody
not the
little
same
dry
thing.
brush, but
You can't achieve that perfect point.
I can. I've never licked my brush, and I can. So.
It is rinse. I'm not.
Oh, rinsed in his
Yeah. See.
dirty
Yeah,
paint
yeah,
water.
thank you. Gotta keep that tip sharp.
Woof.
Thank you. Brush flickers unite.
There's something about scale 75 paint. It's like when you're, you know, like how all the kids from the 70s and 80s, like there's that thing about eating paste because the paste tasted different
Yeah.
back then. I don't know. I wasn't a paste eater, but they will die. They will die with that in their hearts. They're like, yeah, the paste, it was good. My mom was a paste eater, so I guess I'm a second generation. But yeah, so your scale 75 paints. What paints, Caleb? Just based purely on taste. What's your favorite?
So I do rinse. I do not eat paint. That is like the one thing. Like there are people that will lick their brush with the paint on them. I am at least rinsing, and I have two.
So you
rinse
don't taste
cups.
any
I have
paint
two
there?
rinse cups. I have my dirty water and clean water.
Both now dirty, and he's still licking the brush. Just want to make that clear.
The worst tasting thing is the brush soap. That stuff is terrible. So yeah, that I can explain or will vouch for that it is terrible.
Similar in any way to dried pasta, or?
It is significantly worse. If paint tastes like dry pasta, we'd be in trouble. We would be.
I just figured that's why you were licking your brush. Reminded you of home.
Favorite color to eat? Blue is probably the best if you're going to eat a paint color.
What flavor of dirty paint water is your favorite? Scale 75. Army paint. We gotta get Donald mic'd up, right? When he doesn't speak often, but when he does, paste was just flour and water. Yeah, so again, it was the pasta before it was dry.
Wait, isn't pasta just flour and water and eggs?
That's what I'm saying. It was the pasta before it was dry.
See, there you go.
And most pasta, well, I don't want to say most pasta, but your tricolor rotini doesn't have eggs in it, most likely. What do you get, the Barilla?
Yes, Barilla. Oh, yeah,
I
that's
love
true.
that.
Yeah, Turbo Dork is 3 colors in one. Yeah, so no water and pasta. Just eggs and water. See?
Jeez.
You got this.
Wowie. Well, we've really devolved over the course of this stream. We've done it all. One thing I wanted to mention. So
yes.
we're kind of wrapping up here. But these miniatures obviously are large. We're going to be painting these over several streams. But while in between these streams, if you are local and stop in at the store, apparently I learned this tonight, almost at the same time as you. They're going to be in a case, so you'll be able to look at them and see our progress in person if you stop in, and you can, I don't know. And
maybe,
tell us what you think.
Just maybe, we can either give these away or do some sort of raffle, or they might even just go home to
Well, let's not promise that, though, because
maybe,
if I really like it, that's going to be really hard.
Maybe.
But maybe. So, like, 50-50.
50-50.
50-50. But, yeah.
Yeah, I think I'm going to stop here for I think the highlights are good. It's still very devoid of color in my opinion. Like in person you'll see the purples. It turned out really, really well in that aspect, but it really does look just kind of Zenithal primed. So I got to figure out how I'm going to make it stand out without just looking like a mini ready to be painted. So the muscle definition looks really good with the purple undertones, but yeah.
Cool. Yeah. This is mine. It's very blurry.
Yeah, so we got some cool minis.
I got green and bluish.
I really
mostly underpainted.
Did a very good job at
here.
showing like the greens, like the eyes are drawn to this area here because of the green. So
far that's the only bit of like bright green I've put on. There will be more, but yeah, that's the.
Yeah, no, this is looking really good.
We'll see.
The wings look awesome.
Dry
brushing on a dragon's wings is it's very satisfying.
Yeah, it is.
It's very satisfying.
Yeah, it is. Every line that would go on, I'm like, ooh, that worked.
Yeah.
That worked.
Nice
that
job.
dry brush.
Nice job.
So far, so good. So far, so good.
Yeah, we're getting there.
Yeah, we're getting there. So yeah, if you're local, stop in and peep our minis.
Oh, you win. Okay.
Dang.
All right. Well, now we're
okay.
gonna have to put like a little.
I'm a wildly. Is that Shaggy? Is that Shaggy, or are you just a Shaggy?
That's right. Thank you. Yeah, those. I didn't want to say it on stream, but the definition in the back does. It turned out really well.
I love the purple, especially with like skin. It has such a gross, like, awesome. No, this is beautiful.
Thank you.
No, I think you're being harsh on yourself. That is the muscle definition and everything. But thank you. Yeah, Shaggy.
This guy's very toned.
He's toned for
He's
sure.
done a lot of squats.
Yeah, no, he's done a lot of knocking with his big hammer. Tomb knocker.
Tomb knocker. I think it's tapper.
Blue dragon. Tomb tapper. Oh yeah.
The tomb tapper.
Tomb tapper.
Yeah.
It rolls off the tongue better. This is supposed to be a blue dragon, but I have a little blue in there.
It's
but
good
green I think I just like green better, so that's what we're going with. But so sassy. But yeah, so you can stop by the shop. These will be in a case. I don't know where, but look for a case and maybe it'll be in there.
Yeah. Well, thank you all so much for
Yeah.
joining with us tonight. Again, we'll be doing these streams more often. We're going to do a mix of painting stuff where we will do things like this of just like kind of hanging out with us, paint as we go. But I want to have some other like really, really solid painters in the area. I know next week we're going to have Matt Ritz here, and we're going to do a really fun color challenge.
Yes.
So you guys will have to check out that. I think the goal is to
It'll
do
be
it
a surprise,
Thursday,
but
I think.
I think so.
Yeah,
Thursday, probably around like 6 or so.
I know Matt is
yeah.
traveling, so it might depend on his travel plans. But we'll be doing some really cool color work, and we're purposely
Yes.
keeping it secret, so
Yeah,
he has
it's a
no idea.
Color
So,
project. It'll be
yeah.
a lot of fun.
yeah, we're gonna have fun.
Yeah.
Well, thank you again so much for joining us. Have a good rest
Thanks.
of your night.
Bye, Nick. Bye, Shaggy. Bye, everyone. Thank
Bye,
you.
thank you.